Now, James claimed he had no idea we were pregnant. However, he also stated we found out in February. So both statements very contradictory, but I want to confirm not only did he know I was pregnant, not only did he convince me to have the baby, but he insinuated he would help. Right here is what one of the marks from the incident that occurred. He even talks about how he apologized several times because of this. As we continue, and I will show where he apologized. We'll show we even got shirts made for the baby that said Baby Riddick. He says, I know I want to be a father to my child. This is March 21st, 2021. He says, my whole family knows. All of my friends know. As his friends took him out to celebrate. He broke up with me because he accused me of cheating on him and said because I let him get out the car. I said F his feelings. But all of these conversations are directly related to the fact that he knew I was pregnant and influenced me to have the child, even though he knew I didn't want it. He even says, Alicia, I don't want to beef with you or put additional strain on you. Here's the shirt we had made that said Baby Riddick. These are all messages that James has as well. Excuse me for the line. But you can see 757-617-6028. And we'll go back so we can ensure there's no discrepancy on this being his number. I'm sorry if I wronged you in any way, honestly. Because keep in mind, the incident caused me to have a high-risk pregnancy. And not only that, James paid for the doctor's bill, or at least paid for half of it that day. As you can see, we even talked about how far I was pregnant. This is March the 19th. Again, I'm going to scroll up really quick to February, but here's the shirt again that we talked about. This is where he's teasing me. I say I'm side-eyeing the baby already because of how nauseous I was. He said, you better love me with my baby. He says, you know I want to be with you. You know I want you to have my baby. You know I want to spoil you with you. You know I want to wake up next to you every day. You know I want to love on you every day. You know I want to build a life with you. March 14th, 2021. And I say because I had so many issues, I just did not want to have another child. I said, you got to be sure that we're in this together. And he made it clear that a baby was not a part of his worries. Can we handle this? Can we handle the ride? I am about to be stuck with a baby and have to move home. Like, as I said, I don't know. I just think it's making a big mistake. Was me deciding to have a baby a mistake? Do we need to slow down? Should we still move in together? I'm all over the place. We even talk about the baby shower. So I want to be very, very clear. This is a case of I didn't want to have a child. James did. This is James' number. These are all the conversations that we've had. Here's his Daddy Shark shirt that got married. I'm sorry, that we got done. The We're Pregnant card, the to dad from Us That Gets on Your Nerves. James took me to my very first doctor's appointment. And I'm just gonna scroll through so we can get to February. You can show, but as you can see, throughout our pregnancy, here's a video. Let's play it. Of when I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm showing like, why am I so big? And he's like, oh, that thing is getting out of hand. As you can see, we talked a lot. There was nothing that was hidden from him, especially us having a child together. And I'm sorry, but there's no way in the world I took time to fabricate all of these messages as he's claiming that everything else was fabricated. Here's us shopping for baby stuff, the baby pillow. They took him out to celebrate him having a baby. I said, what are they celebrating? He said, me possibly being a father. And that's because I had not made the decision of whether or not I wanted to have a baby yet. We even talked about all of the traveling that I did and how he didn't want me traveling so much with the baby, but now I have no choice. We found pictures of people showing off their kids and talked about just things that we would do. Sorry, guys. We talked a lot, so I'm still trying to get to February. And if it would be easier, I will also print these off. But I just want to show the contradictions to Mr. Riddick stating that he was not aware. And I'm sorry if you guys actually hear the baby in the background. You see, I am showing that my belly is surely getting big. I said, my family's, oh my God, you big. And he said, how is it possible at 1 month? And I said, I have no idea. Oh, I'm sorry if you guys hear the baby. Trying to get to February was actually the week of Valentine's Day that we found out that I was pregnant. And see you here, February 26th. We're talking about it now. 6 weeks pregnant. He even says, man, you like 3 days pregnant. After I say how tired I am. Man says, I talk about all of the good things about you. Sorry, this is taking so long. I didn't realize we talked so much. He says, here we are, February 25th. You know I want you to have my baby. You know I want to be with you. I said, you must be feeling all the pregnancy symptoms as well, because James was definitely way more emotional. He talks about how he want to be involved in parent-teacher meetings, how he want to be involved in the doctor visits. He claims don't have it if he wants to have access to me on a sexual level, but co-parenting level. Because I say, as long as for whatever reason we decide not to be together, you understand that you are not obligated to my business. You don't get to have access to me, just the child. And I'm not going to want access to you. I know how to let go. He makes it clear, if we have this baby and it don't work, but I want us to work out, I don't want that to be us. He begs of me. I did not want to have a baby, although I don't regret it. I wasn't ready to have a baby. He even says, you can have the baby and give it to me. I say, I feel like I'm stuck. You have the baby. I will be the weekend mom. I tell him like how it's draining, my financial concerns, having to get up at night, dealing with the stroller, the car seat, my body changes. He says, I understand all of that, and I understand how you look at those items from your point of view with us trying to move to a different city and build a business at the same time, and what it's going to do to your body. That's why I want you to know that I really want to be with me, you to be with me long term, because I want to be in my child's life day in and day out, not just on the weekends. This is February 25th. I'm going to click the back button so everyone can see. I'm so sorry. That 757-617-6028. James. These are all the messages we just went through. And I will try to get it downloaded. But these are all the messages that we just went through. I was the one who didn't want to have the baby. And I was the one who got stuck with the baby.